Hi there, I'm Tanner Drost, owner of the Hot Tub Man, Central Alberta's highest rated hot tub business. Today I wanted to take some time and show you how to take care of your water in the most cost-effective and easiest way. This is how we take care of all of our clients who are on our weekly treatment program. So first things first, we're gonna open up the lid. Now your hot tub might not have a DuraShield lid like this Strong Spa does. That's okay. Just open her wide open. And then we're gonna grab our test strips. We only use AquaCheck Pro test strips. There's a lot of different ones on the market, but what I found is that these ones are the most accurate, and so for that reason, they're the only ones that we sell. So open up your bottle of AquaCheck Pro test strips, take out a single strip. It's gonna look like this. And then you're gonna bring it over to the water, and you're gonna dip it in. Hold it in there for about 5 seconds, and pull it out. Next, we're gonna line it up. You have 4 different color sections here, and you have 4 colors on your test strip. So you can see that these colors are pretty off the charts right now, and that's because I actually treated it earlier this morning. And that's why it's so important that you always wait 24 hours after you've added something to your water before you test again. If you were to put something in, wait an hour, test it, you're gonna show something that's not actually accurate. It needs that 24 hours to kind of level itself out. So for every color, you're gonna have an okay and ideal range. This is where you wanna be, whether it's your total chlorine, your free chlorine, your pH, or your alkalinity, you wanna keep it within these arrows. Okay, so I just grabbed a glass of tap water just to kind of give you an idea of what a fresh fill of a hot tub would look like. Now keep in mind that depending on where you live and what time of the year it is, whether you have spring runoff or not, it's gonna really affect your tap water. So you can't just take it for granted that if you test it one way one month, it's not gonna be the same the next. So as you can see here, your top one is your chlorine or your bromine, and you're actually reading a little bit, and that's just from the town chlorine that's in our tap water. The next one is your free chlorine. You can see that there's nothing in there. Following by the pH, that's high, and your alkalinity, that's very high, and that's just Central Alberta water typically. So if we were to treat this water, what we'd want to do is bring down the alkalinity, bring down the pH, and then bring up our sanitizer, whether that be chlorine or bromine. Okay, after you've done your strip test, the next thing you're gonna do is check your bromine or chlorine floater. This is Bob, and he just stays in the water all the time. If you were low on your bromine or your chlorine, maybe you might wanna open them up a little bit, right? As you spin it and unthread it, more bromine is exposed to the water, and you would just tighten it down like that, or if you're low on your bromine or chlorine, you're just gonna tighten it down, right? Once a week, you're gonna check on Bob, you're gonna open up the bottom, and you're gonna refill him. Keep it nice and stocked. If you're not using your spa, you will still go through bromine, but maybe less, and this will last you about 2 weeks. But I just like to make it part of my weekly treatment, that way I never forget. Nice and full now, and we're gonna cap it back in and throw Bob back in the water. So what's the difference between bromine and chlorine? Well, they're both sanitizers, they both kill bacteria, and they both work. The main difference though is that bromine is actually tailored more for hot water, where chlorine is tailored more for cool water, for pool water, right? One thing that makes bromine a lot easier is that your pH doesn't have to be so precise in order for it to be effective. That's the reason why it's so important that your test strips are accurate, because if they're not accurate, your pH isn't accurate, well then your sanitizer isn't as effective. Bromine's a lot more forgiving. Chlorine, on the other hand, it does have that harsh smell, and your pH does have to be fairly precise in order for it to be effective. But it's up to you. Some people are more sensitive to one chemical or the other. There is a few other differences, and we do have a blog on our website for more information. Next, it's your pH and your alkalinity. Now, if you're low on your pH, this is pretty easy to remember, you're gonna add pH plus. And if you're high on your pH, you're gonna add pH minus. If you're low on your alkalinity, you're gonna add alkalinity plus, or what's often called buffer. Now, there's no such thing as alkalinity minus. How to bring down alkalinity is actually pH minus. They both will do the same thing. okay? So if you are low on your pH, you're gonna add 1 capful of pH plus. I try to make it really easy by just adding 1 cap of anything at a time whenever you're treating your hot tub. No more, no less, okay? So if you are low on your pH, 1 cap of pH plus. If you are high on your pH, 1 cap of pH minus. If you are low on your alkalinity, 1 cap of alkalinity plus. And if you're high on your alkalinity, 1 cap of pH minus. Now when I say cap, what I'm talking about is the actual lid of the container. So you're gonna fill it up right to the top like that, and we're gonna toss that right in the water. Really quick side note, we have some very, very high alkalinity and pH water in some places here in central Alberta. If you are putting in your strip and you are getting off the charts alkalinity and off the charts pH, then you might be a candidate for muriatic acid. By using pH minus, you might be adding a couple caps a day, every day for up to 2 weeks before you finally bring that down. If you have that kind of water, please reach out. Muriatic acid has some risks and it has some safe handling practices that need to be addressed. So please reach out and we'd be happy to walk you through that. Now, people often balance their water, but they don't really know why they're balancing their water, right? Like they know their pH should be accurate, but why? And the whole reason is because your bromine or your chlorine becomes ineffective the farther and farther away it is from that ideal range. And so that's why it's important. You have to use a lot more chlorine or bromine to do the same thing if your pH is out. Also, if you're really high in your alkalinity and you have hard water, you can get some serious scale buildup. If you're very, very acidic, that can start to degrade your hot tub. So we already talked about Bob the floater there with the bromine tablets, and that's great for a slow dissolve of bromine. But that would take too long to go from 0 to where you need to be because it is a slow dissolve. And that's when bromine granules or chlorine granules come into effect. It's instant gratification. If you were to dip your strip in there, you could have perfect bromine, but then you pile in 6 people for 45 minutes, well, that bromine, it gets evaporated, it actually absorbs into our skin, it disappears. You could dip your strip in after and you might have 0 bromine. And after you just had 6 people in there, that's a great time to have bromine, right? And so that's when you would use this. Just 1 cap of bromine granules or chlorine granules will get you back up to par and let your floater just keep it there. And then lastly, this is the product that we center all of our treatments around. This saves you so much time, so much money, and so much monkeying around wondering how much of what to add to your hot tub. This is a 6-in-1. It's called Spa Life Harmony. This is your descaler, this is your buffer, this is your shock, this is your stain and scale remover, this is your everything. 1 cap of this once a week, and it takes care of almost all of your bases. Right? You still have to, of course, use your bromine and balance it out. But this will take care of cloudiness, any rings that might form, any scale that could build up and potentially damage your hot tub. 1 cap once a week, your bases are covered. And a few more quick essentials would be foam away. Now, if you ever get a bubble bath, this is the solution. Now, it's not a permanent solution, but it will take the bubbles away long enough for you to actually use the hot tub. So just a little squirt right in the tub. What I've found is the cheaper versions of this, you have to use a lot, but with the Spa Life Premium Spa Care product, very little and all the bubbles disappear. Now, the easiest way to get rid of bubbles is to not get them in the first place. And how bubbles get in your hot tub is typically detergent. It's detergent from your washing machine. So if you do wear swimwear in your hot tub, please either don't wash them or wash them without detergent, right? Especially if you have hard water, that soap stays in the fabrics and then it goes into your hot tub. And once those bubbles are there, they're there. Another big one would be any skin lotion, stuff like that. If you went to the beach that day and you put on a bunch of sunblock, make sure that you have a quick rinse off before you get in the hot tub. Your hot tub water will last a lot longer. All right, the next one is Spa Life Shine. Now this is an acrylic protectant and cleaner. Now we just talked about bubbles, and so that's why it's so important that we don't introduce phosphates into the water. That would be things like Lysols or any kind of soap cleaning product. If you get that on your acrylic, you're gonna have a bubble bath that's never going away, right? And so this product is specifically made to not have phosphates in it so that you can actually clean, protect your acrylic. I'll just do a little sample here to show you how to do it. So I'm just going to take my microfiber cloth, pour it in there a little bit, and just clean off the acrylic. That's going to help seal it, protect it, and if you have any rings around the outside edge, it works wonderfully to take them off. And the last thing I'm going to end on is the cover care. So if you have a vinyl hot tub cover, what you're going to find is with the ice and the sun and the rain and everything else, that vinyl starts to dry out, crack, and fill with water. So this product will help protect it from the UV rays and keep it looking brand new. So you're gonna close your cover, and whoops, this one doesn't need it. It doesn't have any vinyl. This is the DuraShield hardcover. It actually doesn't need any protectant whatsoever. You can just wash this off with a garden hose if you'd like to. So let's go find a vinyl hot tub cover. Take your cover care, pour some on a microfiber cloth. You're just gonna wash it in. It's like a really high grade car care product. And you can just see how much shinier that is immediately. And that's gonna help protect it. And I know that these foam covers are disposable, but this will actually add a lot more years to your hot tub foam cover than not doing it at all. So for any of the chemicals that we talked about in this video, or to get yourself a bob, please go to www.thehottubman.ca. Or if you fell in love with this Strong Spa Iconic, please do the same. Thanks so much for watching.